Hey there, tech wizards. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll show you how to add an additional domain controller to an existing Active Directory forest, step by step with explanation, and I'll also be using some real-time PowerShell commands. Whether you're building a redundancy or prepping for load balancing, this is a crucial skill for every single sysadmins out there and IT students alike. Don't worry, it's way easier than it sounds, I promise. So grab your wizard hats or maybe your admin creds. Let's get into it. Before we can begin, make sure your new server meets the following prerequisites, which I'll normally put in the description. There are a couple of them. You just need to firstly make sure that the server is already joined to the domain. It has a static IP address configured. The time and the DNS settings are correctly configured, and you're logged on using a domain admin account. So as you can see, I've built up a Windows Server 2025 box, which is already joined to the domain. So I'm just going to open up Server Manager and let's quickly have a glimpse and make sure all the prerequisites are met. So you can see that I've already given it a name for my lab environment. It's joined to a forest called kindosi.com. I've got a static IP address assigned to it as well. And if you have a look, you can see that it has a static IP address defined, and I've also got the DNS configured on this specific box. So you can see that that DNS address is my domain controller address that which is my first domain controller, which is already running in our environment. So as the prerequisites are met, the next step is installing the Active Directory service role on this specific server. So let's start by installing the Active Directory domain service role on this new server that we have built. For that, we can do it two way. We can go through manage, add roles and features, and go ahead through the wizard and get it. And the next way is doing it through PowerShell. I would prefer to normally do this one with PowerShell. So let's quickly go ahead and open up PowerShell on this box. Once we have the PowerShell window opened up as an administrator, that's the command that you'll normally need to normally install the Active Directory domain service role on this box, including the management tools as well. So I'm just going to hit enter, and this will start off with the installation of the domain controller ADDS domain role onto this box. I'll let the PowerShell thing finish its thing, and once it's done, I'll come back so that you guys don't have to wait for the whole lot. I'll resume the video back again. You guys can see that the role has just got installed and it's a success up here. So let's go ahead and promote this server to be an additional domain controller to in my existing forest. So I'll just go ahead and open up Server Manager, and I'll click on the wee little icon where it says it displays a warning sign. So you get an option where you can promote it. I click on promote the server. I'll use the first option where it says add a domain controller to an existing domain, because that's what I want to be doing. And I'm adding this specific server, which is labdco2, to this specific forest, which is kindosi.com. I've just logged on as the current local admin password. Yeah, I just need to change the account up here. So I'll just log in as an administrator. And I'll give it a try once again and click next. And you can see that we want to make sure that we tick DNS and global catalog. We want to definitely make it GC as well. In the DSRM, we'll just provide it a name, a password, which will normally be used when we want to recover the server in case there was a disaster recovery on the box. And I'll go ahead and click next. I'll ignore the delegation volume. And I'll just leave the replication from any domain controller. Now, let's say, for example, you had multiple domain controllers. So you could normally choose from that list as well, if I wanted to, but I'll just leave it at the moment because I just have an existing one. So I'll just use the one that, or else to make, if you were on a slower link, let's say, for example, in a branch office where you were trying to add this as a additional, so you could normally use and install it from the media, which is the IFM, where you could normally pre-configure and stage all of the contents of the Active Directory, the forest Active Directory database, and use it to expedite the installation. But at this page, as my link is really good and there's hardly in it, it's just an empty Active Directory forest. I'll just go ahead and click next. I'll leave the files on the C drive, but if it's a production environment, it's always good practice and recommended practice, in fact, to normally have these three folders on a dedicated data drive. But for this part, I'll just leave it as default and I'll go ahead and click next. It normally goes to the prerequisite page where it normally does all the checks. You can see that all of the checks have completely passed. So I'll just go ahead and click install. And at this stage, it will install and promote the specific server to be a domain controller from a server. So you can see that the server has just completed its configuration of promotion, and it's just going to a stage where it's going to restart the box. So I'll just go ahead and restart the box. And once it's restarted, I'll relog in back again and do some final post installation checks. I'll just relog back again as the server is just restarted. And let's verify that Active Directory is working correctly. As we're just logged in, let's go ahead and open up a PowerShell as an admin on the box. And let's just run some basic commands that will normally provide us and give us an output of the health state of the domain controller. So I'll just run a command which is Get-ADDomainController, and I'll filter it out uh, with a star. And hit enter. So you can see that there's heaps of information that's come out. So you can see that LabDC01 was my initial box, initial domain controller, and it has all of the information like what forest level it is on, what's the IP address, what's the NTDS setting objects where it's located, and this is the second box that we just promoted, which is LabDC02, and it has all of the information that it's a part of Kindoski.com domain, and what's the NTDS settings object DN where it's located, and sites and services as well. The next command that I always run on a box is the dcdiag box, the dcdiag command. And yeah, it just does some basic test, which on a forest level where it tests the DNS zones or the forest or domain DNS zones, the schema of the forest, the configuration, and if that all passes as it has, as you can only see, it's a good sign. So we know that all of the configuration looks all good. And just like that, boom, your additional domain controller is now up and running, helping improve resilience and replication in your Active Directory setup. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hasta la vista from Citrix Sage. If this video helped you, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment if you've got a question or want any more deep dives into Windows servers. Until next time, keep learning, keep tinkering, and may your ping always comply. Catch you up in the next one.